Hi, Aditya.
Hey, Anshuman, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
There is something, right?
Yes.
What is it?
So let me talk about it. So after I think our call,
Uh-huh.
the last time, the next day again I had an interview with Microsoft that I was giving since August, and that went through. And again they had another interview with me, in I think in Friday on Friday again, Monday and Friday. And after Friday they told me I'm selected
All right.
again.
In this time, when people are laid off, right? Experienced people are available. I think 8819 is this a remote or like in-person position?
In person, it's in Milwaukee,
कहाँ पे?
Wisconsin. Wisconsin, Milwaukee.
अरे यार, मतलब it's a very very cheap place, right?
Yeah. I also gave interview with Innovista Health
Hmm.
the same week, and this Monday I gave interview with the VP of the company, and I'm still waiting for their result as well. So I'll be moving towards more of a Microsoft as of now. I'm still giving interviews every day, like.
And what is the starting date for Microsoft?
It's on 24th, but my equipments have not yet arrived. So they'll push it to November 1st. That's what they mentioned. And yeah, that's that. And yeah, I'm trying to figure out next what to do.
I'm really,
So
really happy, yeah. And
yeah,
yeah, an offer with like Microsoft and others are also in progress. No, yeah, I think it's great, yeah. I mean, think about a situation, right? Just a few weeks ago, right?
yeah,
Going through like so many interviews in the last few months, right? And you're approaching your H1B date as well, right? So
yes,
yeah. So I think it's a very good time that you landed a job, which is great. So all
yeah.
hard work and everything eventually converted. So now I think you need to sit back, relax, and have fun, right?
Yeah, let's see how it goes from here. So
Relax.
that's
And they're
what
willing to
I want to
sponsor your
tell.
H1B.
Again, it's in March right now. So yeah, I'm having fingers crossed this time. But yeah, I'm still keeping my options open everywhere.
Would love to learn a little bit. I know about your story, right, of landing a job, going through
Yeah.
multiple rejection, multiple job interviews, right? But there was a point when everything looked very dark, right? You're like, okay, why am I not getting a job, right? So, can you tell a little bit about, okay, what helped you in that tough time, right? How was your journey? What now when you've landed a job, what do you, and when you look back, right? What are the areas that you think, okay, you could have improved as a job seeker, or why it did not work, or is it a normal journey for it? It's just like everyone else.
So to be honest, I graduated about me. So I graduated last year in May 23. I've been looking jobs since Jan of 23, so 6 months before my graduation. But it was a very tough market. In November of 2022, we had a bloodbath in tech industry. Most of the tech companies were laying off one-fourth of their employees, so somewhat figure off like that. So it was like I would say around like 200,000 in total number. And I was kind of tense during that time. And after graduation, I was kind of confident that I have a chip on my shoulder, that I have like 3+ years of experience in India. So I was thinking I can get a job if I put in my efforts and everything. So for the next, I would say till September or October, I was kind of pushing, but nothing concrete was happening. Most of the interviews I gave was kind of like ghosted out, or visa issues or something or the other. So I came across HiCounselor again, in November, and I was thinking of alternative options, and then I think kind of got enrolled. So I think my number started increasing from Feb, May to March again. I was in constant touch with my manager, Ruchika, CRM manager, or relation manager, I would say Ruchika. And then Ruchika told that, okay, your case is kind of like different. Let me be in touch with Aditya over here. And I was in constant touch with Aditya since April or May. I'm thinking like that. So I'm
Yeah,
not,
started connecting then, yeah, around May or
yeah,
so.
yeah, April or May. And we started going through each and every interview that I kind of gave. I was kind of like trying to figure out what went wrong. Sometimes there were some interviews with bigger companies in medical care, and what happened was at the end they told, okay, due to visa restrictions or something, we can't sponsor you or something like that. So that was again a blow to me. So either it was some kind of a technical mishap or it was some kind of visa issues that was kind of giving me the big blow. Then I think I told Aditya about the same, like, what should I do right now? Should I go back to India since I don't think anything is happening? So in the end,
Yes.
around
Okay, I remember
oh,
that time. Yes.
yeah, in September or October, I was like, Aditya told me, okay, just move to a different city and try to network from there. And even we had plans to kind of meet in person and try to network and learn how to network, but that was not possible due to some of the other issues. But still, I started going on my own and started networking with the crowd in New York City every Wednesday, Friday, and then I started seeing my numbers started to increase, and then I got a contract position. I was getting interviews a lot from contract companies as well as your like startup companies. I started emailing them and like 24/7, like almost I was doing
Yes.
my best. And things started to change in again in September and October. And right now I'm still waiting to hear back from two companies. I
Mhm.
have an offer with Microsoft. So yeah, that's my whole story, I would say. Like one thing I learned is record all my interview, rehear it, and try to analyze how I can go. How can I train myself to speak better? Like I learned that from all the mentors in HiCounselor. They told me to kind of record it, re-listen to that, and kind of modify that. It's like iterative process.
Mhm.
So
And
so
I remember Anshuman, right? So we connected like at least almost every other week, at least for the last three
yeah.
months, right? And we went through like multiple processes, and our focus was always like, okay, we'll try everything, right? From referrals to job application to email networking. Out of these three major things, right? What would you say? Which one gave you results? And don't think in terms of like just getting, okay, which one got me the final job offer, but I would say, how would you recommend someone who is searching for a job right now, right? In terms of like networking, what exactly worked for you? Because I know like different things work for different people. What actually worked for you?
Well, I did blind applying. Didn't give much results. The referrals, I think I received easily around like 20 to 30 referrals, and I was promised for few more referrals by other people, and it didn't turn up. Like even through referrals, it was like one or two, but not solid.
Mhm.
The on-site networking that helped me the most, I would say, out of all. And again, advice from high counselors as well, like constant iteration, like trying out every 2 weeks, reflecting what needs to happen, what occurred, and keeping that numbers in mind. Like I've applied these many numbers, what are the responses? Okay, let's change. So constant iteration, constant feedback from others. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, there was about so yeah, so yeah, I used to sit down with Aditya every alternate 2 weeks, try to figure out okay what needs to be changed in your resume, how you need to write your emails. So constant feedback, constant experimentations help me out.
Mhm.
So that are the two things that kind of changed my things drastically.
And I remember, Anshuman, there was a time when you were like really, really disappointed, right? And how do you feel now? Because you're the same person, right? I see,
Yeah,
in my eyes, you're the same person even then. And you're saying
yeah,
now, maybe like you're a little bit better with your interviewing skills because everyone
yeah.
improves, right? When they go through like 10, 20 interviews. How do you feel now? Because I want to tell everyone who's searching for a job right now, because you always get that imposter syndrome, right? That, okay, I may not be good enough for job market or anything, right? Uh, how I know how you felt just a month back. I want to understand how you're feeling now.
A one back, definitely I was feeling imposter syndrome. I was a good coder before and I was struggling in coding again. So I was like, something wrong with me. I forgot everything, like writing the baselines of code or something. I started doing lead code every day. Right now, I have a streak of 90 or 91 at the moment. I'm doing lead code every day. So every day, I used to keep in mind that, oh, I need to be better than like I'm not comparing with anyone. I used to compare myself with my previous version. Like every day I used to push myself. There were days where I didn't sleep properly. I also mentioned Aditya that scenario. So all I did was trying to improve myself and checking what I did in last week and how much better I can do the next week. So the constant iteration and feedback loop that I kind of implemented on myself, it kind of helped me, I would say. And yeah, setbacks are really hard. I would take a day or two to kind of recuperate. I did take a day or two to recuperate because the setback was I gave the best perfect interview, but there are multiple circumstances that can differ your offer. Maybe there is a candidate who is kind of local to the country, or he's already working in the company and knows the manager well, or something else, or your visa issues, mostly visa for me, or some kind of technical mishaps. So there are multiple things, and until you join a company, you're not sure what can happen. So I would always advise, if I was depressed, I will take a day or two to kind of recuperate, but then again I would reflect back and kind of move myself better. And one thing I learned from all this experience is, no matter where you are, what you're doing, network. If you know a lot of people, at least when you're in trouble, at least you can ask out an advice from any of the like 100 people you have met. At least people are there to advise you, and they're good people to kind of advise you wherever you are stuck in somewhere. That's what I learned through this whole journey, I would say.
And I think, Anshuman, you have done a great job. And I've told you this is not the first time that I'm telling you, because now you have landed a job. But I've told you this, like even our previous meeting, that uh, you 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 did make a very good effort in email networking, reaching out to people. And I told you there are a lot of candidates, they just give a wow. I've sent 50 emails in the last 1 month, and I'm not going to network with anyone, right? Doesn't feel right. But you were there, you networked, right? Email networking, although the response wasn't very much, right? But I think still there were a few response coming in. I think that
Yeah,
keeps the momentum going, right? When you connect with
yeah,
people, talk to them, that that keeps the hope alive, right? So I think you did a great job over there, and I would recommend everyone, right, to not stop networking, right? Sometimes in-person networking is difficult, right? It's not possible.
yeah, true.
Networking you must do, right? It's
Yeah.
super important.
The best way is to network. If you're doing virtual networking as well, make sure that at least you try to connect with the person on a telephonic level or some kind of a virtual level, so that at least the person knows you by face. Because I'm pretty much sure everyone receives thousands of emails every day, and no one will remember anyone's name at all. So, but people do remember face and the conversation they had. So always remember, always start with a decent conversation about scenarios and things. Don't just jump to the topics. I think I screwed up my few starting interviews like that, but later on when I got hang of it,
Yeah.
I kind of started like having a good network conversations. Right now I'm happy that the network I've made is more valuable right now. I can reach out to the people and they would remember me definitely, because we had some good interesting conversation about some other topic, or apart from the job, and we had good in discussion about different topics. So that's one thing I would say.
I remember
Networking is the
we
best.
had I remember we had this one mock informational interview, right?
Yeah,
Where, right, you started as if, okay, you're talking to me, like I work at Meta, right? And then I provided you feedback where you directly jumped onto like, oh, there's a position, right? Can you help me out,
yeah.
right? So that was a very good example of like to not jump directly on your
True.
needs, but then like build a conversation. So that was really good. Okay, my last question to you: what did you do anything different in your interviews with Microsoft compared to your previous interviews? Because I remember like a lot of companies previously were also very good, right? Where things did not go right, uh, or was everything same in this interview as well? And it was
Uh,
level
what I
very
did this time was, I try to like read all about the job description, try to analyze what questions they can ask, because right now the technology market is completely changing. Right now, people are more focused about AI, ML combined with your normal data engineering or software engineering or something like that. So always brush up on new technologies, learn, read more about it. And this time, what I did was, whatever key points were mentioned in the job description, I dug deep into it. I went into a rabbit hole, try to understand pros and cons, applications, and case studies. I try to understand each and every part of it. And for each and every interview I had, even on back of my head, anything can go wrong, right? So I started recording my interview rather than writing down the questions later on. I recorded my interview on the side, and right now you have a lot of apps which converts your text, your audio to text kind of feature, also summarize it. So always
Down
get.
Downserve is a great app that I use. Down.
I'm using the Samsung voice recorder. So I have an Android
Okay.
phone, so Samsung voice recorder. It also has speech to text conversion and summarization. So that's a best thing I had done over the last 5 interviews I've done. So I started recording those. I started writing down what are the important questions they asked and how I answered them. I've noticed that in certain questions I was not super confident on my audio. Like you can understand via audio that how confident you are or where you kind of messed up. So I try to note that down and I try to improvise that. So those are the few steps I did to kind of improve. Everyone does the same, but I kind of went to the audio format thing.
Makes sense. One more thing. So, because people are like always bank companies, Microsoft, they're like always target company for everyone, right?
Yeah.
Uh, what if you have to give a blueprint to anyone targeting, say, Microsoft, right? So, from your interview experience, what are the technical skills that you would recommend people to prepare for, say, Microsoft SDE role? Any specific concepts, type of questions that you would recommend? How many interview rounds were there? Was there focus on behavioral interview as well?
So I had around 6 interviews with Microsoft since August. Again, it was completely back and forth, and there were some positions cancelled in San Francisco where I was supposed to go, and then I got in Milwaukee. So the starting were all technical coding round. Again, they were like lead code questions. Again, I mentioned that I had like imposter syndrome that I can't even write a piece of code. I started going back to basics, try to write a simple code like your two sum problem, or you had remove an integer or a palindrome. So even if you're in bigger team level or something, you know that write it down again and see if you're going wrong or something. Like it's you are under a huge pressure since you think in back of your mind it's Microsoft and you'll have huge pressure writing even a simple piece of code. Sometimes I forgot how to write a for or while loop also. So I started going down to basics, try to write each and every piece of code over there. So the coding round was like beatable for me. Like they were like I cracked like what out of they had like what 40 to 50 cases, out of which I cracked around like 46, 47 cases. So that was good for them. They asked me how will you handle few exceptions, and I was looking around that, and I kind of gave a decent answer over there. I remember that. And then we had a lot of technical questions followed up with that, like application case scenarios. Since my position right now is more focused on development with AI ML, so since the role is something called AI engineer, something like AI engineer, so mine was more focused on coding as well as application. So they asked me more on system design and what kind of models, how do you deploy that. So I started digging more on DevOps level. I started understanding MLOps and try to understand case scenarios. What are the major issues? Writing down a use case, use cases and the challenges. So I prepared like 10 to 15 stories, and I kind of cracked that interview. The next all were behavioralized, prepared in star format, 10 to 15 stories again. So that's how each and every interview I cracked. I also, as I mentioned, I was recording. I was trying to analyze my each and every previous questions, and I was writing down if in chance they can repeat again. There are good chances that most of the interview questions, sometimes out of 5 questions, one will be repeated. They want to check whether your story matches or not with the previous setting. So I started writing down each and every story, started grilling down each and every narrative of that, and kept it airtight, whatever you call it. So that's how I kind of prepared each and every interview, and I think that's how I landed that.
Mhm. This is very helpful. Thank you so much, Anshuman, and congratulations again.
Thank
Uh,
you.
Great time. And yeah, let's stay in touch.
Yeah, I will definitely stay in touch. And yeah, it's always good to connect with you. And yeah, hope we can meet in person someday.
Absolutely.
It
Like, come to
didn't
next.
happen, but I hope we meet in person again.
No, no, absolutely. I mean, so like whenever so long weekends, people travel to Miami, right? So this day I'm
Yeah.
meeting more HiCounselor alumni and friends and our mentors because people come here on long weekend. And, hey, we are here. Like easy to meet, right? Or
Okay.
San Francisco and conferences are a great place because a lot of our alumni, uh, when they when they're in a job, they're definitely sent to different conferences, and most of the tech conferences are like common that we attend, they attend, and like, we bump there, right? And it's that's a great opportunity. But we'll certainly plan to meet in person for sure. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Aditya, for all the help.
Uh,
I will stay in touch with you over email or some kind of other format. So yeah,
Absolutely.
thank you very
Anytime.
much.